Good morning, Jeremy and Joe. Happy Wednesday. Winter. It's like Antarctica out there. Yesterday was just like, what is this winter hellscape?
Yep.
It was tough. It's been a brutal couple of weeks. To that point from Nick Wright, here's a thought experiment for everyone, all right? Ready? The Bills have a good season. Joe Brady's the head coach. The offense is good. The defense looks improved, blah, blah, blah. They lose in the playoffs in the divisional round. Is that Joe Brady's first or fourth playoff loss? Does he get connected to the three before, where he's the offensive coordinator, or is it clean slate time? Here we're learning that 13 seconds is a big factor in what has happened. And if you want that to have been the case, that's fine. You can hold past history against the guy if you want to. I'm only asking if when Joe Brady and the offense, if they have a game that they lose in the playoffs, is that his first or his fourth? You don't even have to answer it.
Yeah. No.
Thought experiment. Do what you want with that.
I like it.
Because
to me, it would depend on the nature of the playoff losses, given that you're only really in charge of one side
exactly
of the ball.
the way they've gone.
Yeah.
Exactly the way they've gone.
The way they've gone, like what Nick kind of lays out there. Like if he were the offensive coordinator for 13 seconds, I wouldn't put that on him.
No.
Because you drove down the field twice in the final 2 minutes.
Multiple times, gave a lead.
Yeah. And since then, again, it's one touchdown on 10 drives
in the fourth quarter and overtime.
So, like, I would put those as much on him. Like, to me, if he loses in the playoffs next year, it will be, for me, his fourth. Because your offense let this team down in the biggest moments, which is what was cited as the reason McDermott was gone. So by that logic, playoff wall and doing it in the biggest moments and what McDermott did in 13 seconds, and then you want to lay it out since then, like that was the reasoning. So if I'm using that logic, Brady's offense has let them down. Therefore, to me, like this would be number 4.
Is he halfway to a playoff wall? Is it clean slate? And that is, I think, part of the point about going in-house and not exercising things. You know, someone wrote to me yesterday on Twitter, maybe it's time to admit the defense always allowed the last winning drive of each playoff loss, and the defense was McDermott's. To which I would say, a little snarky little response here, but like as the greats have all said, all the great quarterbacks have all said, I want the ball in my hands down 3 for a final drive, but only to run clock because the previous stop was already made. Like the big moments, it's all about big moments. It's all about talking about these playoff losses and these very, very fine margins. This offense, 3 years in a row, has had the ball with a chance to either take a lead or win a game. They did against Jacksonville twice, and the defense got to stop. Then this year against the Denver Broncos, like previous years, they scored 24 against the Chiefs in a home game and lost. Like that's a year where I don't put it on your defense, I put it on your offense.
And even the idea, so what was it that they allowed? They allowed a drive, the defense, at the end?
Yeah.
Because in the 3 playoff losses that Brady was the offensive coordinator, it's not really fully true. I mean, the Denver game, sure. Like, okay, you're going to get some field goals here. The Broncos kicked a field goal after the Bills forced a 3-and-out to start overtime. To hand the offense, here you go, field goal to go win the football game. That's a gift from us.
And that, by the way, was a bad call, according to a lot. I mean, many people think it was a bad call. Like, maybe that should have been a catch.
But whatever, the last drive that should have been for the defense was a stop, a 3-and-out. In the Chief game, in the AFC Championship game, the last drive for Kansas City was a field goal. They were tied. So, is that bad? Is that good? You gave the offense a chance to win the game or tie it with a field goal. So, yeah, sure, you let them go 50 yards, but then you stopped them. You didn't let them score a touchdown on their last drive. The year before the 16-play drive with the Diggs drop and the missed Tyler Bass field goal, what was the drive before that?
There was an Allen fumble on that drive, too.
And the Allen fumble that didn't happen. But what was the defensive drive before that? It wasn't a touchdown.
It was a 3-and-out?
It was a 5-play punt. 5 plays punt by Kansas City. So that doesn't hold up. Again, like the point totals in these games are 27, 32, and 33. Like if you just do it by that, then sure, like it's not going to end up looking great for you. But the problem with McDermott in 13 seconds wasn't nobody spends time talking about how many points the Chiefs scored in that game total. It was
42.
42. But it was what you did at the end. What you did at the end.
Their last two possessions, they scored. Well, their last three.
Last three, if you count overtime.
The last three. The Tyreek Hill breakdown is the first one. You get a touchdown.
Then you play prevent.
Then play prevent, give up 2 catches, and, of course, kick it into the end zone. We've been through it all. And then in overtime, you lose a coin toss.
Right. That was your problem. Your problem was biggest moments you did as poor a job as humanly possible. And in the 3-game sense, at the end, they have responded to give the offense the thing you wanted in the 13 seconds game, which was a chance to win the game. That's what everybody wanted in that game. Just give Allen another crack at it.
And 3 times.
And you couldn't. 3 times. And in the 3-game sense, all 3, you've done it. A punt and 2 field goals forced. That was enough. Especially when they weren't even as talented. Especially this last year.
Right. 803-0550. I just really bristle at 27 should be enough, 30 should be enough. I know what you're saying, but it's the point I made to start the season and wherever we get to this, that 30 should be enough during the regular season. That is stroke play. My stroke play, match play comparison. That is stroke play. 27 should be enough. You score 27 in every single regular season game, what's your record going to be? I bet you go 13-4. It'd be great.
Yep.
You score 27 in every playoff game. How should you do? It depends. You know how many teams have been sent home scoring 27 or more in this year's playoffs? It's 4. It's not just the Bills. The Rams, the Panthers, the Packers, all got sent home scoring 27. Do they get to hang a banner and say, well, 27 should be enough? No. It is match play. And I'd love for them to give up less. But in every one of those spots, like you pointed out, Joe, I've got Josh Allen and supposedly my number 1 ranked offense, the MVP one year, the number 1 rush offense another year, and I give you the ball. Here it is. I've set you up. I made the stop, a 5-play punt with A.J. Klein and Dorian Williams and a skeleton squad. I made that stop. Here's the ball. Let's go win this game, go to the next round.
Right.
Didn't get it. Last year, AFC Championship game. Hold them to a field goal. Here's the ball. Go do it. 17 yards. Done. That's the point about it's not a full exorcism. I think the hire can work. I'm not miserable about it. I, of course, desperately want them to get receivers. And I want Brady to show us that, he's been doing the best he can with what he has. And now he's going to go in there and say, listen, if this offseason, all I need from you is Carnell Tate, and you can do the rest.
Well,
where do I sign up for that? You can have every other asset, every other cap dollar, everything. You throw Carnell Tate in this offense, and I'm good. That's all I'm going to ask for. But I don't know if he is allowed to ask for that or allowed to say that it's not good enough.
Well, also the point you made earlier about how they've kind of been a year late to all of these trends in the league and the evolution of offense. Where are they going to be thinking in terms of the scheme of the offense? Are they going to try to evolve? Or are they going to bring it right back with the same style of offense that they've been running?
Which is very good and will probably win 13 games, 12, 13 games.
Probably.
But you are now, of course, keeping up with another team in your division. And the idea of going on the road might become more routine.
And whatever you can throw out there about how the offense did in the regular season, statistically, it got Allen hit.
A lot.
And maybe that is honestly going to be the spark more than anything that gets them to evolve in some way. And that could be, increasing the talent at receiver, just giving him more options that can separate and so that you don't have all these coverage sacks where he's hanging onto the ball, and then blast, he gets hit because nobody was open on the play. Maybe they start to become a little bit more pass happy. They've been one of the run heaviest teams in the league the last 2 years. So maybe they start to evolve from that a little bit. And you can have your reasons as to why, I have mine, why they should do that. I just think you're a better offense and you're more dangerous when you're that way. They might do it because Allen is getting hit. And if they just do it, the motivation doesn't really matter. I think that's more likely, though. It's more likely they would change the way they play offense because they just watched Allen get hit repeatedly.
Right. They got to get under center a lot more. That's what I would do. Part of what they should do. There's some splits on that, too, about under center, how much more valuable it is if you can, in fact, pull it off. Anyway, Dennis in Lockport, that's play action game, that's run game. Hey, Dennis, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great show. I love what you guys have. Been trying to get hold of you guys for a few days to ask a question. More about one of our wide receivers. You guys had some talks about Coleman and a few others. But, one thing I do agree with you with Brady is I think he could do all right problem with his offense, it became predictable. I mean, I can close my eyes, tell you first down is going to be run up the middle. Second down, chunk play. Third down, whatever we can get probably with Josh if we're lucky, or a bad pass or a small pass. And fourth down, Josh Allen. Nobody could figure. Everyone knows that. So, and it showed in the playoff games. Here's the question on the wide receivers, and sometimes it resurrects one. It can resurrect somebody's career. With Coleman and Kincaid, we have a couple issues here. Kincaid can't stay healthy long enough to keep going the way he does, and he's a great tight end. But I kind of wondered, what if they used him more as a receiver and put Coleman as a hybrid tight end style guy who can go right in the middle. You know, he doesn't have to get separation. He's a big body. He's a tough kid. He can jump. Maybe play that area, because I think it was you guys when we first drafted him, one of the guys there who said he's not going to get the separation on the outside. He's that guy in the middle. And, you know, you look at it and you kind of wonder, can he fit that mold maybe where get him settled down, get him in that spot, and then it could release Kincaid, who he has the ability to get down the field. And he's sure-handed down there.
He does, but again, like middle of the field is crowded. Mm-hmm. If Coleman starts there now, like Shakir is like mostly in the backfield and behind the line of scrimmage, I guess. You never needed Coleman. It was an obvious you don't need him.
And this idea so rarely works. Like Waller did it. Darren Waller did it. He converted from receiver to tight end, and he was awesome.
Jordan Matthews tried it.
Juwan Johnson's another one that did it. Jordan Matthews did it, and most guys, like there are two really success stories to me, like when it happens in the NFL. Everybody else, right? It's guy at the end of the road that flames out because they just got nothing left. Jordan Matthews did it. Kelvin Benjamin tried to come back with the Giants playing tight end. Yeah. Devin Funchess converted to tight end.
It's just
Justin Shorter converted to tight end with the Raiders, and where is he? Not on a team. Like, to me, that's your end of the road. He would have to put on, he's 215. Kincaid, who everyone considers to be like a smaller, less, like not as thick of a tight end, is 25 pounds bigger than Keon Coleman. So, one, you'd have to put on all that weight. And two, you're going to have more blocking responsibilities. And I don't know, don't you want the guy to be a dog if he's going to do that? And I got videos all year of Keon jogging on the field. Like, has he got that motor that he's going to switch to tight end? I think it's a silly idea.
Well, I don't know if Coleman's more likely to be on the roster than he was before this. Is he? Isn't Brady the one that would have wanted him picked?
That's a really good question.
McDermott's the one with the attention to detail. You're late for meetings. You're this and that. Does he get a fresh start, clean slate, because it's the offensive coordinator that would have probably
a more lackadaisical head coach?
I'm not even saying that. Just saying when Terry Pegula says the coaching staff pushed for Coleman, it had to be Brady. Had to be. Or the receivers coach. I mean, it's definitely the offensive staff. So does he get a clean slate? You could make you want to make the case that he should get a clean slate because he's a young receiver and he's cheap. Fine. Pretend it's the flyer you've taken on another player rather than just trade him for nothing. If you wanted to try that, you could.
He's Chase Claypool at this point. He's,
Chase Claypool had a 1,000-yard season.
Andy Isabella. Like, he's one of these, KJ Hamler.
Right.
One of these
he's a flyer.
1,000 second-round receivers they've brought in that had failed in their previous stop and didn't have anything left.
Right, this is just his first stop.
He's your version of that.
For sure.
So, if he's on the team, I guess, but he's playing snaps? What is his role?
Did they take it to block? Didn't they draft him to block and to do back shoulder throws?
I can find anybody.
I know. Trust me, I know. I know.
Like, to me, it would just make the most sense. Maybe Brady makes it more likely he's here. It makes the most sense to me to just trade him for a fifth, trade him for a sixth. He might not even want to come back because of what the owner said.
Right.
It might not even be up to them.
I wonder if you don't bring him to camp and see if he can beat out other guys. And if he loses the job, then you just cut him. But again, it's not like you cleaned house and with Jarmo Kekalainen can decide to trade a player away that he did not draft. If he wants to trade a player, I got no connections to this guy. If the Bills were to cut or take the loss on Keon Coleman, the head coach and the GM have to take that loss at a position that is, of course, already a big sore spot. So I'm not...
Well, unless they try to pin it on McDermott.
Right.
Which is kind of what
Mario in Jacksonville. Hey, Mario, good morning.
Hey, morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
It's funny. I think most Bills fans today, or at least maybe just in my collective circle, are scrambling to try to convince themselves that they like the hire. Because I think if you would have asked or took a poll on Bills fans after the Denver game before McDermott was fired, what changes did they want? They wanted Brandon Beane gone, and they wanted Joe Brady gone. And then a week later, they're both promoted to the highest positions in the organization, arguably, right? The thing I take issue with the most is how many times during the season did we see Allen throw his hands up and mouth?
What are we doing?
Caught it. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And then I listen to you guys regularly, and we talked about how I think the word we used was how uninspiring or predictable the Joe Brady offense was. So now we're all praying that all of the issues that stemmed from the team, now we're looking at the offense, came from McDermott, which I think we can all agree McDermott wasn't really a meddler in the offense. At least that's what we had heard before all of this was happening. So for us to now turn around and think, well, maybe Joe Brady is a magician and he got the success that he had with the team that he had because that was what he was forced to use, I just don't know if I can get behind it. And I think today we're kind of all praying that is true. Otherwise, I don't know if I can sit through another season of first down, 2-yard gain, second down, tunnel screen, or that's the third and long play. Sorry. I don't know what second down is. But for him to call plays again, it just doesn't seem like ownership or the GM are really plugged into what the problems have been over the last few years.